All right, guys, welcome back. This is Charlie Brawley. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to master the strategy of the Diamond Buster strategy that I have recently built into the ShadowMax trading software. This is the reason why I've been gone for a little while. I've actually been working on this in the background, and we're going to go through and talk about the different things that you need to do to master the strategy. It's not difficult, but there are certain key points that you need to know. So once you actually register for a free demo, you should be able to go into the drop down box and you should be able to see Diamond B Sim. You should see that somewhere in your drop down. Click on it. Once you click on it, click on this if you want and read over it. But I'm going to go over the various things in here that you need to be keenly aware of, because there's one thing to play the strategy, then there's another thing to manage it. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you understand what you're doing. I constantly reiterate this is not gambling. Okay, gambling is what they want you to do, but you've got to take your emotions out of it and get into the mathematics of it. What we've done with this strategy is made it really convenient and easier with less risk to make units per shoe, 2 to 5 units in a shoe. That's all you got to do. Technically, the only thing you really need to do in an entire day is only make about 3 to 6 units. That's the reason why I constantly say, if you could just remove the gambling away, you're going to be great. And the only thing that stopped my users is gambling. That's the only thing that can stop you. It's when you step outside of the frame, you step outside of the box, and you do things that you have no mathematical litness over. So let's just go right into what's going on. So you guys, I've been uploading some of the videos showing you guys me playing. You can probably see I'm up maybe about 20, 30 so units just in the last few sessions, right? And the reason for that is because of the way this thing is designed. However, you've got to play according to what I'm about to talk about. Number one, stop win. 2 to 5 units per shoe. Okay, less is always more when you're in this environment. Okay, less is more. Why? Because the value can always be increased in terms of the wager size. You don't think you never have to think I need more units. You don't need more units. You need consistency. The value can increase based on the unit size. That's how the money's made. It's called compound, not by doing more. Okay, 2 to 5 units per shoe. Now, why do we say stop there? It's because of variance. So imagine this. Let's say you have a let's say there's a 95% chance of great weather, but there's a 5% chance that it will rain. Now, if you are outside the entire day, you never go in, there is a greater chance that you're going to see that 5%. I know it sounds very common sense-ish, and it should be. But that 95% chance of sunshine is only to those who you'll get almost 100% chance of not seeing it is if you're not outside. But if you're outside all day, there is a chance for that 5%. So the reason why we stop at this 2 to 5 units is because we know we can get the units, but the reason why you want to do little, you do a little, you take a break, you do a little, you take a break, you do a little, you take a break. Even if you lose, you can continue to play out the shoe. But even if you said, hey, I'm going to stop after I do a losing set, which we'll talk about in a second. I'll stop. I'll take a break. Fine. You know why? Because you're going to win so many of these 2 to 3 unit shoe games, sessions, that it will make up for the losses. You don't have to chase losses. You don't have to do any of that. What I've done with the Diamond Buster strategy was taken the algorithms and I've made them linear, meaning one continuous process, one continuous patternrhythmic line, if that's even a word. All right, so why it works: 95% win probability, stay off variance, keep goals small. All right, stave, not stay off variance. AI, you should do better than that. But stay off variance, like it'll work. But keep goals small. It's easier to make 2 units than it is to make 6 units. You don't need to make 6 units. in a shoe. 2 is enough. 3 is enough. But as you grow through this and your discipline is stronger, can you go for more? Yes. Because of the very reason this stop loss exists. Stop loss. There is no hard stop loss. Now, why is that? The reason why there is no hard stop loss is because we play things in what I call a set. A set is a set of 4 hands. If you lose 4 hands in a row, we call them games, hands, same thing, that is called losing a set. Now, the pendulum rides on hands 3 and 4 or games 3 and 4. So if you lose 1 and 2, 3 and 4, okay, is the pendulum switch. So what that means is if you lose a set is really lost when you lose particularly 3 and 4, okay? The reason for that is because 3 and 4 is almost like a separate game, of which even if we lose a set, we're going to have so many opportunities to lose the first 2 and win 3 or 4 that it actually overruns. It's more, we have a lot more advantages of winning games 3 and 4 than we actually do losing. So if we lose a set, this is not the time to think, oh, something's wrong. Oh, you don't even really have to leave. Why? Because we're going to win more games, more 3, 4 games than we're going to lose. And in our progression strategy, of which we'll talk about, games 3 and 4, we increase deliberately because this is where what I call the money game. This is where we have the most leverage. Now, we win a lot of games 1 and 2, hands 1 and 2. And so if you lose a set, which is equal to minus 12 units, the reason why you could stay playing is because and again, I have videos. You can go and look at some of the videos I'm playing. But the reason for that is because we win a lot of these first 2 hands. So if you lose the first one and you win the second one, that's plus 1 unit. That eats away at this minus 12 really quickly. As a matter of fact, I have a video where instantly, right at the beginning of a shoe, we lose and we come back to make up 2 units. Okay? So that's the reason why you stay in the game. It's not a real stop loss. It's all based on a deep understanding of long-term pattern runs in this game. That's the reason why it's really not a hard stop loss. All right. Critical rule: if you lose 2 sets in a row, do not leave. Continue until the shoe ends and then take your break. Because the reality is that you might lose 1 set in a shoe, but typically you don't lose more than 1 set in a shoe if you should even lose a set at all. That's the reason why I recommend playing it all the way out. Why no stop loss? The rarity of losing sets is 6 to 1. So we have a 6 to 1 advantage of winning games 3 and 4. That's the reason why we play them on a higher progression. Now look at this. Here's a progression options. Hands 1 and 2, you lose hand 1 at 1 unit. You increase to 2 units on hand 2. If you lose hand 2, you can go 3 on the next one and 6 on the following if you should lose hand 3. That's one progression style. Another one is 1, 2, 4, 8. Now what happens here if you lose, this is the basic 1, 2, 4 step progression, all right? Here is the highest one recommended is 1, 2, 5, 10 for a total of minus 18. Now, the way you want to look at that is if you lose a set, you really want to just look at hands 3 and 4, because losing 1 and 2, okay, that's relative. But as long as we win enough of these, we will win enough of these to balance. But if you lose a set, that only means we really need to win 3 games where we've won hands 3 and 4. And we have a 6 to 1 advantage. All right, over time. That doesn't mean it's going to happen every single time in clockwork, okay? So the minus 18 units is made up fairly quickly, even at games when it's down like that. And when I say quickly, from what I've seen, as long as you hit and run, you don't just sit and play in shoes, you get your 2 or 3 units, you take a break, that sort of a thing, hit and run, it's going to be really scarce of even losing sets. The only time you start losing a lot of sets, and that's not that you even lose a lot, but you lose more is when what? You stay there. You just stay playing all day. Like I said, you could be outside. There's a 95% chance it's going to be sunny. But if you're outside from morning to night, you might see that 5%. All right. Higher progressions, why do they work? We win hands 1 and 2 often. So even if you lose a set, because we win 1 and 2 a lot, it makes up, it chips away at the deficit. Those units add up and cover deficits. When you win hands 3 and 4 at higher stakes, you take home significant more profits. 5 and 10, if you win hands 3 and 4, this whole set you would have won two more units, okay? In this case, 1, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6. If you win hands 3 or 6, it's basically a break even. Here you make 1 unit. Here you make 2 units. Okay, so this is a better situation. You just need the bankroll to cover it. Okay. Now you should be set at about 1.5% of your bankroll is kind of where you want to be in terms of a minimum bet. We'll get to that in a second. Daily goal, guys. This is business, man, and you do not have to gamble here. You only need 6 units in a day. Can you play for more? Yes. What typically happens is that you can't play for more is can your discipline manage? Can your emotions manage when going for more? If you don't have the discipline to play less. I have users who are making 3, 4, 5, 6% every day. And that's only because of discipline. All right. So 6 units is all you need. Skipping. So we talked in the game itself, there's a point where you might have to skip a hand. If you should skip it, there are skip rules. You just need to make sure that if it's a skip that you would have won on, you hit. Matter of fact, let's just show you that really quick. Let's say, let's end here. Let's say we skipped this one, but it was a winning, it won. It said for us to play it, but for whatever reason, we didn't play it and we need to skip it. But we saw the outcome. The outcome was player, but we didn't play it. So it was a winning skip. We would hit win, 1 unit or whatever the unit size would have been, and then hit skip, okay? If it was a losing skip, you didn't play it. If it was a losing skip, same thing, 1 skip. Now, the reason why that's important is because losing skips are a part of the cycle. If you should have a losing skip that would have lost, that's literally 1 loss out of a 4-set cycle, which means you only have to play 3 more hands in that cycle of 4, not 4. Okay, so that gives you even more. It's almost like a virtual loss. All right. And yes, you can. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the compound calculator that I've included here. Guys, what I've actually done in this calculator, I have actually included a minus 12 unit loss per week. All right. So again, if you keep your goals to around 6 units a day, okay, you don't need more than that. Watch what I'm going to do. You don't need more than 6 units a day. Do 2 units in a session, right? I'm telling you, the less is more, all right? 2 units a session, 3. Now, the better you get at discipline, sure, you can do for more. But for what my experience, most people have very little discipline when it comes to this type of work. And it's very difficult to keep people on task or even consistent. You know, if people aren't just completely like feeling like they're gambling and taking them for, 100% and all that mess, that's not winning to them. This is the reason why this industry exists. But guys, if you only do 6 units a day, I've even included a minus 12 loss. Again, you could come and test this out. See if you think you can do 6 units with this. I already know you can. All right. Easy. I've already built 1 minus 12 loss. I haven't had a minus 12 in a day. I haven't had that yet since I've been doing this. Okay. And I've been playing every day, all day. And I stress test. All right. I'm just showing you guys now what it looks like. All right. So let me show you. So if you were to put, let's say, I don't know, 3,000, some of you, let's say you got $3,000, right? Your minimum bankroll is going to be $45, and you're only going to be going for 6 units a day. Let's see what that looks like in 90 days. This is compounding it, okay? In 90 days. This is inclusive of losing -12 once a week. And we're only going for 6 units a day. We could go for more. You could go for a lot more. You see how this is adjusted when you go for more? Look at this. Let's say we only go for 3 units a day. Uh-oh, can't see. There we go. 3 units. Not bad. Well, that's inclusive of a loss, so we have to do more. Let's do 4 units a day. And that's 90 days, 5 units in a day. 6 is the real, and this is a great number too, but that's on $3,000. So you can come in and you can play with that, guys. But I've built into this calculator us losing, okay? If you hit a -12, I don't even foresee a chance where in a day you will not be able to redeem the units. Now, with that said, guys, let's say if you're having a day where you hit a -12, you get back up to even and you want to get to 3. Let's say somehow you hit another -12, right? And then that's not a time to quit for the day, okay? Don't quit. Once you get back up to even or something like that, then that's when you could possibly take a break. I wouldn't even say take a break. I would say stay until you get your 3, because we're going to have overtime in that day. Maybe even in the next few shoes, you're going to have enough opportunities to win hands 1 and 2, 3 and 4, enough to overcompensate for any set losses. All right, guys. Well, listen, go to shadowmaxtrading.com, register for a free trial. All right. It's a 24-hour trial. Go through all the videos. Again, this is not a gambling system. You can't just play. I mean, you kind of can, really, if you just stick to the process. But I recommend not doing that, because most people who gamble don't have discipline. And you don't have you still will have to come back to a point of discipline. So that's the reason why I'm teaching this from a perspective of discipline. All right. If you don't have that discipline, if you don't have that consistency, do something in life that gives you what you want. But to be successful in anything, you've got to be disciplined and you've got to be consistent. This is the reason why I'm over 10 years doing this and I'm still talking about it. Okay. With that said, guys, go to shadowmaxtrading.com. We'll do a 24-hour trial. This is not going to be forever, guys. So for those who, if you see this, if this is an opportunity for you to take now, take it. I'm not going to be around here for long. Yes, I am just still trying to grow my team because I'm getting better at this. The better I get, the better it is for everybody. All right. So if you want to take advantages, make some money. Number 1 or number 2, or number 3 or 4, the mathematics is guaranteed 100%. I've been guaranteeing the math. Now what I've done is just figured out a way to streamline it to make it easier, less riskier, and more procedural, so that you can have success without getting in your own way due to a lack of discipline. With that said, Charlie Brawley here, shadowmaxtrading.com. Until the next time, peace.